Welcome guys to the Slowpoke World. We're continuing our Darkness Ablaze content, and today I've got for you a Gardevoir VMAX deck profile. Gardevoir VMAX is a card that on face value didn't look the greatest. I was not impressed at all, but now after playing with it, okay, I can see why it's pretty good. Let's get to it then, shall we? We've got Gardevoir VMAX, baby. You know, one of the on face value, not the most strongest of cards coming out of what's the set called? Darkness Ablaze. But after playing some games, I actually think it's super competitive. So let's have a look. Gardevoir VMAX, Mega Evolved Pokemon. No, it's not. What are they called? Just a VMAX Pokemon. 320 HP, one attack. G-Max Cure. There's 180 and you heal 50 from yourself. Okay, obviously now that there's no psychic acceleration in format, it's like how are we getting his energy on? Because on face value, you know, heal 50, not too bad. You've got stuff like Malamar, you know, you've got the odd canned food that we'll get to later, so we can actually turn this into pretty much of a good tanky deck. But how are we getting energy on? We'll get to that later. We play a 4-4-3 of this. The basic Gardevoir V, Gardy V baby, has 1 for 30, 210 HP, and then its second attack is 3 for 120, and if you heal damage this turn, you do an extra 80, so 3 for 200, which is not bad. 200 being is so-so. Okay, then is an Eldegrosses, but that's about it. We then play a full 3-3 Silvally. This is the one that lets us draw up till we have 5 cards in hand. Super strong, really, in combination with the Rose Trainer that we'll get to later. But and I guess it also one-shots all Ultra Beasts with its GX attack. So yeah, I guess we can attack with it as well. So we play a 3-3 of this. We then play 1 Latios. This is going to act as a free retreat pivot, whilst also letting us clear vision. So against stuff like ADP, if we go second, we can try and bum rush out clear vision, stop them GXing, and really set them back. So yeah, there's this. We then play 1 Victini, which has the victory heal ability. When it's on the bench, you can heal 20 from one of your bench Pokemon, sorry. So in combination with the max heal attack, we're going to be really trying to heal as much damage as possible. And then 1 Eldegrosses V and 1 Dedenne, just to act as some consistency pivots, really. Eldegrosses V is going to let us get back stuff like Malolana that we're going to desperately need, and Boss's Orders, and Dedenne just helps us draw through. Once we get the Silvallias online, we really don't need to be seeing that many cards during a turn, so we can afford to like only really get away with 1 or 2 of these. You could even potentially argue 2 Eldegrosses instead of 1 Eldegross, 1 Dedenne, because we just really want to see our Boss's Orders and Malolana every turn. But you know, I've settled for the 1 Dedenne right now. We still play for Professor's Research though in that scenario. You could argue playing some Skylers in here, but I just think this card draw 7 is still nuts. Even though, like I said, once we get the Silvallies out, we don't really need to be playing supporters every turn that lets us draw cards. But we still need to get to that spot, and we need to get multiple stage 1s out, you know, multiple Silvalli, multiple Gardevoir VMAX. So this card draw 7 is strong for that. And now here's how we get our energy accelerated. For Rose. Now let me tell you, the Rose Silvally engine is absolutely nuts. It's so much fun to play, and you'll see in the gameplay how strong it is. What Rose lets you do is choose up to 2 basic energy from your discard pile and attach them to 1 of your VMAX Pokemon. So we can actually get the Gardevoir VMAX going in 1 turn if we just attach 1 from a hand, Rose 2 from the discard pile, and then once we discard our hand, we get a full Silvally disc reload. So now you can see the synergy. We use Rose, accelerate to our VMAX, draw up with Silvally, you know, see what else we can do, play our Healy stuff, maybe get another Silvally. So that's where the acceleration is going to come from. We then play 2 Malolana. You like my second proxy, by the way, Milo and Lana. This is just going to let us heal damage because we are a tanky deck. You know, we want to just heal off as much damage as we can. We already heal 50 of our attacks. So with Malolana, we heal off 170. We have other stuff as well. It's not uncommon for us to play Malolana, play on canned goods, and then heal. So, you know, Malolana lets us do that as well. It lets us give a lot more movement. You know, we can switch to the bench, use the victim. You can see we're healing a lot here. Play 1 Erica's Hospitality. Let me just move these up a little bit. 1 Erica's Hospitality. It's like an off supporter, and I'm really feeling Erica's as an off supporter these days. Just because, you know, in this post-rotation format, a lot of decks are going to have a lot of Pokemon down, like a Turnus for example, and Erica's lets us take full advantage of this. We play 2 Boss's Orders, because we are a 2-shot deck. I mean, 180 is barely a 2-shot, I know. So yeah, if you ever want to like KO or Dedenne for our last couple prizes, Boss's Orders will let us do that. And then 1 Burkeeper. Now I might even argue a second one of these in here. This is one of the new supporters. Switch your active with one of your bench Pokemon, then draw 3. So yeah, that's always fun. Acting like a little pivot is always well and good, really. Letting us get our Gardevoir VMAX to the bench and get the victory heals. We then play 4 of the new item card, Dubious Canned Goods. And what this one does is heal 80 damage from one of your Pokemon with a Psychic Energy attached, and then discard a Psychic from this Pokemon. So, it's not uncommon when you play Gardevoir VMAX to put on more energy than you actually need, just so you can like potentially play 2 Dubious Canned Goods, or you can always like Dubious Canned Goods, Rose, get them back. And so, like the amount of healing you can pull off is silly. So if you go Malolana 120 plus Dubious Canned Goods, that's 200, 220 with Victini. You can see now we've just healed 220, and that's bonkers, like absolutely incredible. So Dubious Canned Goods really gonna push us out of 2 shots back into 3 shots and stuff like this. 4 Quick Ball, just because we need to set up our basics. If we could play 5 Quick Ball, we would, but we can only play 4. We play 2 Pokemon again, just so we can get our Pokemon out, you know, get our VMAX, get our Silvally, search our basics as well, potentially as well. And then 2 Evolutionary Incense. I'm not quite sure on this number, whether we want to go for like a full 4 Incense, or, you know, 2 Communications, or even 4 Communications, no Incense. But for now, I've settled on a 2-2 split, and it seems to work for me. 2 Switch, just so we can, you know, get our Gardevoirs out the active, you know, start getting victory heals and all that good stuff. 2 Air Balloons, they're not float stones, they're air balloons, just so, because that's our tool of choice. We also want to attach air balloons between our geezers, just so we have nice universal free movement, you know. 1 Chaotic Swell as our stadium, because again I couldn't really think of a good stadium to play here, so Chaotic Swell seemed to fit the bill. I was tempted by a sort of a Wonder Lab, just because we do overpay with our Gardevoir VMAX a lot of the time, but I thought I might have been a bit cute and it might catch us out more times than not, really. So I've opted for the Chaotic Swell. 2 Horror Energies, a sneaky good way to make up our damage output, let me tell you. So obviously when your opponent hits into a Pokemon with a Horror Energy attached, they take 2 damage counters back. Always fun. So yeah, so if we have 2 attached, you know, they're taking 4 damage counters back. And I think, is it 10 basic? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 basic, just because we need to get a lot in the discard pile early on so we can get max value from our Rose. So yeah, there's been Gardevoir VMAX, guys. I actually think it's a really fun deck. Don't overlook it, give it a chance, give it a shot. I promise you it's not as bad as it looks at face value, okay? But thanks for watching, and we're putting as much Darkness Ablaze content out as I can, at least 1 video a day, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, okay? Sound good? But thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.